everything.
Okay, for the want of time, let's go through.
The other one, he said brewery. Let me tell you, Rufai, I'm happy you're asking that question because people have talked about breweries and everything. Rufai, if I tell you what I suffered for that brewery to be built in Anambra State, you will not believe it.
Not to do so.
I had to go out trying to attract business to Anambra State. The biggest revenue earner in Enugu State is Ama Brewery. Ama Brewery in Enugu. The biggest earner, call it revenue source for Anambra today, is that brewery.
But you said the government stake that he invested had gone down. That was not smart investment. Those are some of the things they say.
Thank you very much. I wish other people in Nigeria invested in something that went down. That's not smart. I said the biggest revenue earner, the revenue source, is that brewery. That brewery is employing at least directly 500 Anambra people. That brewery is at least giving food to over 5,000 Anambrarians. Those who use that business, distributors, truck drivers, everything. I wish people are doing that. What we do is that we condemn what is that because of the way they've been treated. They have the biggest brewery in Ogun State. Have you ever heard anybody say in Ogun State, oh, the brewery is this? They have a bigger brewery in Ogun State.
They say you brought poverty to Anambra. Those are the criticisms of Lagos State Governor recently. So they said they say about they said I think they accused you and they said under your tenure poverty did increase and all of that. So you had no moral right to go to John Hopkins and talk about poverty.
You are talking about narrow interest and narrow assessment. Go and look at Nigerian Competitive Index. Go and look at it. I was governor of Anambra State from 2006. And I was impeached. So you can say I was governor of Anambra State from 2007 to 2014. 7 years. I was effectively governor for 7 years. Because the first year I was removed, as you know. So I was governor for 7 years. Rufai, Nigeria as a country was a signatory to the global measure of development, which is Millennium Development Goal. That is a global thing. Nigeria was a signatory to it.
Yeah.
That is what made China to pull 439 million people out of poverty. That was what made India to put over 150 million out of poverty. I can go on and on. But Nigeria was signatory to it. And it was signed in the year 2000. Rufai, I became governor in the year, started effective governance in 2007 after I came back from impeachment and tenure interpretation. By the time he ended in 2014, Anambra State under me was number one. In terms of, this is not me who measured it. It was UNDP. I was even invited to United Nations to come and give a speech on what we did. I was number one. I was number one in education. Health had improved and everything. I can go on and on. So when you now have a distorted result, say, go and look at World Nigerian Competitive Index. Go and ask people who were involved in fighting poverty in Nigeria there. Tobacco and all that. Go ask them. Ask all the donor agencies. Who is the first to pay his counterpart funding? Ask everybody. The only reason I didn't do well, I wasn't in media. I wasn't going about paying media people, advertising myself and everything. Because I have a little bit of a concern about giving people money. Because it was public money. That's all. Otherwise, maybe if I was advertising myself, nobody would be. But to show you what it is, Rufai, I live in Anambra today. The only place I have a house in my name, owned by me, is in Anambra State, in Onitsha. And if you go, I'm inviting you, any day in Anambra State, let's walk the streets. And people will tell you, who is this man?
Okay. They also say you didn't do a lot of infrastructure. These are the things people say. They say, what about schools? What about capacity? They said after you left Anambra, it's not that you turned Anambra into paradise. No, that Oka was still unique, somehow. So there's nothing. Don't waste your
time. I got certified from Federal Ministry of Works as governor to have the best road connectivity, who opened up all the rural areas. In our study of poverty.
Ministry of Works gave you certification for that?
Ministry of Works, the federal government. As I said, I was acclaimed as the best. Let me tell you, Rufai, In our study of poverty, we found out that the poorest areas of Anambra State needed aspects. What we do here is that we think that building infrastructures and painting them and doing this is development. It is not.
But the governor just built a big infrastructure in the states. The governor's house and some other quarters, which they say is built into the states.
Very good. When I came, and it's very good, and I thank him for that. When I came,
but why didn't you build that one? Why didn't you build that one?
When I came, there was no government house at all. There was no governor's lodge. They were all burnt. There was no government house. There was no governor's lodge when I came. Not even house of assembly. All those things were burnt because my predecessor had issue, and some stars and hooligans came and burnt everything. So I didn't even have anything. I said, from my village. From my village, I went to live in Onitsha. And then renovated and rebuilt whatever is being used now. So you could see the foundation. I don't know, but it's like anybody coming here and say, oh, this place is a bungalow. You have to live here now to build upstairs. So I started building the huge one when I didn't even have any place. So the day I was sworn in as a governor, Rufai, in Anambra State, I did not see anywhere called Governor's Lodge to sleep. I did not see anywhere called Government House. It was after 1 week of coming from my village that I asked the Secretary to Government to vacate his office. So I started working there. And then went to live in Onitsha and started renovating the house. So where they are now, that is moved from, was built by me over 10 years ago. So now I built that one, built the government house, and then found out that we needed to invest in critical areas. Rufai, when I came, the schools, secondary schools, primary schools were in very bad shape. That is not my priority. Should not be to start building where I'm going to live. My priority should be to invest in critical area of development. That's what I told the people I was going to do. And I turned the education around.
Okay, let me put this to you. A lot of people also say, now show me your friends and I'll tell you you are. You influence the measures of your successor that had a lot of problems. Is that a reflection of you?
Which problem do you have?
Oh, with all the, being called by the EFCC and all of that, then what ensued as regards him saying you didn't leave as much money as you claimed behind and all of that, and the brickbat that ensued. So is that a reflection of you, that you backed such a person? That's one of the things they say against you.
Let me tell you, Rufai, Obiana has never said, and this is what I tell people, I didn't leave money behind. What you see here is that they go and say, oh, group said, that's what I was saying. Oh, this group said, oh, this didn't leave money. This group said, this group. At the time they interviewed me, I said, listen, I didn't hand over to a group. I handed over to Obiano. So why are they talking?
But group? What they keep on saying is the money that you claimed you left behind, it was not as much as what you left. You also left a lot of liabilities.
No, let me finish now. They keep saying group said, Rufai, the money I left behind was not left in overseas. I left money in 3 banks. Those 3 banks are there. You can go there. After this interview, I have in my little office here a photocopy. I will give you a photocopy of my handover note, including the balances of that account as I did I left office, issued by the banks. I left in Access Bank, which is still there. 12 billion naira, $50 million. And I'm going to give you a copy.
12 billion naira and $50 million in Access Bank.
I left in Diamond Bank. 12 billion naira, $50 million.
In Diamond?
Diamond. I left in Fidelity Bank. 12 billion naira, $50 million.
$50 million in this 3 account. And $12 billion
dollars and 36 billion.
What debts did you?
1 minute. They're documented. Rufai, the day I left office, I was not owing one contractor, one supplier who have executed his job. If you see one today, I challenge you. Go and sit. I was not owing any civil servant that was supposed to be paid by the state salary. I was not owing gratuity. I was not owing pension. Additionally, if you want to know, I left salary enough to pay salary for 3 months. It's documented. And I'm going to give you the documents. It's not something that anybody. So I wasn't owing anybody.
So you said you were not owing people that had completed their job, but you were owing those that had not completed their jobs.
If you haven't done your job, can I pay you? How can you pay somebody who haven't completed their job? Even you.
So you are paid, you are not paid those that were not completed, that the job was still ongoing.
If your job is ongoing, I won't. Let me give you an example.
So are you telling me? That you left no debts behind in Anambra?
Not one. And I was even begging people to come and take their money. If you had a job in Anambra, you can go and ask anybody. Not one. Anybody who tells you that he was owing him, call the person. I'm telling you for 10 years.
Okay, and we're just trying to challenge out the state debts. Another thing, they said you want to be president, but you can't sort out problems in your party. People say they don't trust you. They see you as weak. Because how can you say you want to be president? You can't sort out things. They also say that for you, it's a one-man show. It's all about you. It's not all about the generality of people. It's a tunnel vision, ideology, and all of that.
This is what you get always. Right? This is what you get always in Nigeria. Because we now live in a country of propaganda and lies. And they manufacture it. The problem we have in the Labour Party is problem instigated and sustained by the government of today.
Where's the proof?
I don't need to tell you. When you have a party chairman who calls a state governor a dwarf and dwarf thinking, forget about me. So it's not weak. Okay, I'm weak. But is that weak? Is every other person there weak? So let's all be sincere with ourselves. Before they call you names here, you know it. You speak the truth and you call you names. We now live in a country of propaganda and lies and trying to put problems everywhere. They won't even put problems in families. Before I've managed and built a business locally and internationally, and they're thriving. By the time I left them, I've been chairman of corporations, quoted companies, director, and I've earned my respects. And I've been a governor. There's no place that I've shown weakness. I returned school that was taken from churches 40 years that nobody could even dare mention.
But these are the points. These are the points people like Kenneth Okonkwo. Yes. These are the things they said against you.
It's just Kenneth Okonkwo. Who again?
But it's a valid point of view.
If 12 persons that followed Jesus, one went against him, how about me? Millions followed, and you're counting those who went against me. Listen, people must go against you. People must speak against you, and they own listen. I still remain consistent and not changed. Like I said, Kenneth is my younger brother. He has his reasons for his actions or what he wants to do. Humility, patience, tolerance is not weakness, it's a virtue. It is not easy for people to remain where I am. And when I was campaigning election, before I went to places people dare not go to. I was in Southern Gombe. Was everywhere. People fear to go. If I drive around this country today, this year alone, I've driven from Abuja to Kafanchan, to Kaduna, to Kano, to Katsina, to Chigawa, to Jos, to Benue, to Kogi. Who's doing that? So people just stay in their house and talk about this much they are. Just like they stay, they don't go to anywhere. It's easy to be an armchair critic. For God's sake, I'm on the road.
You know why they keep talking about this weakness? Because as it is today, you don't even have a platform at which you're going to run elections.
Don't worry.
If Julius Abure says, I will continue with the Wahala,
don't join them.
He will continue well, and coalition talks are still going on. That might swing in your favor, that might not swing in your favor. So that's why a lot of people keep saying you're weak. They say, okay, you're so weak that you can't call out some activities of IPOB and it's not palatable. But these are the things they say. These are the things they say about you. And that's why they say, can you reach out into the north?
I criticize every single act that is wrong. Whether it's in the east, west, south.
They say you're not hard enough on IPOB. That's what they say.
I'm hard on everybody. I remember what I said during that campaign until today. Any agitator I will discuss with. There's nothing wrong in agitation. Whether it's Yoruba movement, whether it's Northern movement, any movement, I'll sit down and discuss with. It is important because you dialogue with people. Even in my house, people agitate. Why don't you dialogue with them? I have children who say, oh, I don't want to do this, daddy. And I say, okay, let's give me alternatives. Let's talk. Why are we fearing talking with people? Let's sit down and talk. And then we have exhausted the reason. And if we don't, and that's it. So it's a question of, so like I told you, we've been radically in our approach. And we thought that bad behavior and rascality makes you powerful. No, he actually kills the system. Good behavior had become weakness. Good character become weakness. Humility has become, everything that is good in Nigeria is considered as wrong. If I go into a place whipping people, shouting and beating people, I'm a strong person.
So the current vice president once said about another candidate was going that, he's too nice, that he's not nice people that are needed in leadership. And that's the same thing a lot of people are also saying.
It's unfortunate.
About you.